I don't know if I like these here newfangled dangled tin buckets or not.
Yeah, I don't either. But it was so cheap I couldn't afford not to buy it. Makes the water taste funny.
Yeah?
Yeah. Might be all right as soon as the moss grows in the bucket.
Might be.
Say, well, how many cords of wood do you figure we got stacked here?
About 15. Exactly what Captain Holden paid for.
About time the Enterprise will be coming around the bend, ain't it?
I expect.
Say, Will, you got them instructions written down that Captain Holden left for us to give Captain Turner?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Let me see what that says. I don't want to forget that. Now, here's what it says. Have contracted to deliver word to the dock. Load aboard and continue upstream. We'll meet you at Willow Landing.
Captain Holden sure was generous with us. What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but I seen a wolf early this morning. Maybe I better go and take a look around. Will!
Stay clear of that snag to larboard.
Yes, sir.
This is the time of year for new snags. We don't want a hole in the bottom.
No, sir.
Steady on.
Yes, sir.
Captain Turner, we of the Enterprise think that Terry knows his business quite well.
I agree, Mr. McGregor. Have I been too critical?
Oh, no, sir.
When Captain Holden puts me in charge of his boat, I run it like my own.
The only reason he put you in charge is because we don't happen to know this particular river.
That's exactly what I'm getting paid for. But you'll have Captain Holden back in 50 miles, so be patient with me, Mr. McGregor. Couple of blasts at the next bend, Terry, for Mullins Woodstop.
Yes, sir.
Captain Holden and his scouting for cargo. They hadn't gone ahead to drum up business.
I don't mind Captain Turner.
Well, you'd better mind him. He knows the Red River by every inch.
I didn't mean that.
Guess I'm a creature of habit. Get used to taking orders from one man.
What kept it?
I didn't want to take away the tray too quick. She might have been asleep or something.
She ain't touched a thing. As far as I know, she ain't had business since last night. I'm just going to see what Miss Andrews doesn't like about my cooking.
Wait a minute. I'll see what Miss Andrews doesn't like about your cooking.
Who is it?
Captain Turner, miss, I'd like to talk to you.
What do you want?
Well, the cook tells me you haven't eaten a thing since last night.
Do I have to eat?
Well, you know, Miss Holly, the meals are included with your fare.
Of course I know it.
Is there something wrong with the food we serve?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I just haven't been feeling well, and I don't care about eating.
The wind from the mountains, there ruffles the rose. Lives fonder alive, my sweet little dove. The pride of the valley is the girl that I love.
You've had dinner at my table twice on this trip. You can't treat me like a stranger.
She's fair like a rose, like a lamb she is neat. She never was known to put paint on her cheek. In the most graceful curls hangs her raven black hair. She never required perfumery there. Dear Evelina, sweet Evelina, my love for thee shall never, never die. Dear Evelina, sweet Evelina, my love for thee shall never, never die. Dear Evelina, sweet Evelina, my love for thee shall...
Captain, I want to apologize. It's just, the nearer we get, the harder I worry.
Worry?
My sister Julie. I know you must be sick of hearing about my family, but I know she's in some kind of trouble, and when I read her letters again, I just couldn't eat.
Julie. Let's see, she's the married one, isn't she?
Mr. Scott's much older than herself. I think she loves him, but he's not good for her.
If it's marriage trouble, don't go mixing in it. Women don't like that. Even sisters don't like that.
Captain Turner! You come up here a minute! There's a lot of smoke up around that bend.
That looks mighty close to the Mullins wood stop. Break out the fire buckets just in case.
Aye, sir.
Full speed ahead, Mr. Carney.
Captain Turner. Here's a note from Captain Holden. Found it near the bodies.
Contracted, furs delivered, load aboard. Did you see anything that might be the remains of a couple of tons of beaver pelts?
There's nothing like that around here.
Then the cargo was never brought here.
That's a Wichita out. There's no doubt about that.
Doesn't make sense. The Wichitas usually don't come east of the cross timbers.
It looks like they did this time.
It's odd. They didn't steal all the horses.
Those Redskins, all right. This is the way they operate.
They've stolen what they wanted and run.
Well, we'll stay here long enough for me to ride into the settlement and find out what happened to those furs.
And I'll cut some more wood. We'll be ready when you get back.
You better make up a burial party.
Aye, sir.
Terry, Josh, I want you to come with me. Saddle the horses.
Aye, sir.
Captain, are you going to the Red River settlement?
Yes.
That's where I meet my sister Julie.
I'll come back for you.
I'm going with you.
No, Miss Holly. We'll stop here for 15 minutes and give the horses a rest. Terry, will you loosen the cinches?
Yes, sir, Captain.
How soon will you leave, Captain?
Tomorrow night at the latest? Why?
I thought I'd take my sister Julie back with me. It's a big house back home. Big and empty.
Empty?
Since my parents died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They died together. Typhoid fever. That left just me, Captain. Just me. There can't be much love for a person alone.
Hey! My horse! Please let me go. I only tried to borrow your horse because they're going to kill me.
Who's gonna kill you?
They're coming to get me. Please let me go because they're going to hang me.
All right, Joshua. Get him in the bushes till we find out what this is all about.
Captain Turner.
Hello, Sheriff.
Mr. Carley said you'd be coming upstream on the Enterprise today.
I got some bad news for you.
Yeah?
We just came from Mullins Landing. The place is burned to the ground. Both the Mullins boys are dead. Arrows in their backs.
You hear that, men? That's at Wichita. We're looking for him now. He's about 20, named Rico. If you see him, be careful. He's dangerous.
Thanks, Sheriff. If I run across him, I'll hold him for you.
See you in town.
Right.
Looks like he might be the one, Captain.
We don't know for sure. But from the mood those men were in, I don't think they'd have even bothered to ask him. Were you at Mullins Landing?
No kill. No burn houses.
Joshua, you stay here with Terry and see if you can get him to talk. I'm going to take Miss Holly into town. If I'm not back by midnight, come on in.
Aye, sir.
Looks like you're getting ready for a siege, Mr. Carley.
Well, I am, Captain Turner. Them Wichita's have burned out 7 farms in the last month. If you ask me, they're going to get up nerve enough to attack this town sooner or later.
And I imagine you're anxious to get those beaver pelts to market. Captain Holden said he had a contract with you to have them on the landing.
Well, now, he's just going to have to wait. Because I'm not going to risk sending those pelts down the river trail with the Indian situation like it is. I got too much invested.
I'm pulling out tomorrow night at the latest to meet Captain Holden upstream. So I suggest you have those pelts at the landing unless you want to go to court.
Well, you wouldn't be threatening me, would you?
No. I'm a businessman. I live up to my contracts, and I expect other people to live up to theirs. I'll be at the hotel. You think about it.
Holly, it's wonderful to see you. You're wearing your hair just like Mother did.
Julie, this is Captain Turner that I've been telling you about.
How do you do?
Thank you, Captain, for bringing Holly to see me. Only, you must take her right back with you. She mustn't stay here.
Don't you think that's for Holly to decide?
Julie, I came to find out what's been troubling you.
Troubling me?
Yes. You used to write so much about your husband, and now you don't even mention him. Julie, that could mean trouble and unhappiness.
You're just letting your imagination run away with you.
If you and your husband are in some kind of...
Holly, I don't want to talk about him. That's our own business.
Julie, my dear. I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Captain Turner, this is my husband, Albert Scott.
Glad to know you, Mr. Scott.
How do you do, Captain? And this is little sister Holly. Almost as pretty as my Julie. Welcome, and I hope you can stay with her a long time.
Thank you.
So Julie said yes. And would you believe it, we've never had a cross word in 5 years?
Tell me something, Mr. Scott. How long have you been a traveling merchant?
I don't mind being called for what I am. Just a humble tin peddler bringing utensils to the women of the frontier.
Seems to me you take quite a risk traveling around with the Wichitas on the loose.
Well, Captain, my only worry is my little wife, but she's brave. Well, shall we have some dessert? More coffee, maybe?
No, thank you. It was a lovely dinner, Mr. Scott.
None for me, thank you.
Well, then, ladies, I suggest we get underway. It's a short trip to the cabin.
Maybe Holly should stay here at the hotel. She'd be more comfortable.
Oh, nonsense. We've plenty of room. We couldn't let Holly stay in town. Maybe you'd like to join us for the evening, Captain.
Please do.
Thank you, I will, Mr. Scott, after I attend to some business.
Oh, that's fine. We live on the Ohio Road, house with the white door. It's my treat, Captain.
Wow, that's quite an outfit you've got.
Well, they can see me coming, and they can hear me coming.
You go on, I'll join you after a while.
All right, Captain.
You won't be long, will you?
No, you go with them. See if you can find out what she's afraid of.
Then you see it, too. She's scared real bad.
You two, sit down over there.
Rest of you stay back. Go on, stay back by the door. We ought to beat it out of him. Go on home, Mr. Curley. You know as well as I do, he won't say a word till he gets ready.
The sooner you hang that Indian, the better for all of us.
Well, I wondered where you and the girl went. Why didn't you tell us you had the Indian boy?
You heard what Mr. Carley just said.
Yeah. They ought to jail you all for aiding and abetting a fugitive. But I guess it's like your man said. You really thought there was going to be a lynching party. All right, you can go. Go on, get out of here, all of it. Go on.
Wait for me outside. What do you intend to do with him?
Make him tell us where the raiding party is camped. Then we'll clean up on him, and that'll be the end of it, once and for all.
The end of it? I don't think so. Once you attack the Wichitas, you'll have the Pawnee Picts and the Comanches to deal with.
The Wichitas have killed and robbed 20 of our settlers, Captain, one by one. I've buried some of them myself.
May I talk with Rico?
If I were you, Captain, I'd stay out of this. You can talk to him.
I stuck my neck out for you. Now I want some straight answers.
I do nothing bad.
Everybody around here thinks you did.
None of the people was scalped. None of the horses was taken. That's all a Wichita goes after.
That's what I thought.
You believe me?
I used to know a Wichita scout in the Army. He was quite like you. But you must have done something to turn these people against you.
When I was a little boy, I am captured in a fight. A Mexican family raised me. So all my life I've been around here.
Were you ever in any trouble?
Sometimes. I steal a little.
Oh, you steal, huh?
Only the things I need. Like from the team peddler. I steal a knife. And he has me arrested. Him, a rich man, and he has me arrested.
Just because a man has a lot of pots and pans doesn't make him rich.
I look into his money box. He has $5,000 in there.
Well, it may have seemed like 5,000, but...
It was 5,000. I count. And I think maybe to take some. But I am honest. I only steal things.
Where would he get money like that?
Maybe he sells very many pots and pans.
Not that many.
Captain, are they going to hang me just because I steal a little?
Not if I can help it. You heard what he said?
Yeah. And when he says he steals, he ain't lying. He's been here too often. Remember what I said, Captain. Stay out of it.
What did you get out of Rico?
It's the first Indian I couldn't even tempt to talk. All he'd say was, no kell, no burn houses.
I want you two to stay here and keep an eye on the jail. I don't think they'll attempt to lynch the boy until after he talks, but if they make a move, do what you can to help him,
Where are you going?
To find out how a tin peddler gets rich in this country. Looking for Albert Scott. Is this his home?
No, it's not.
Well, I was told it was on this road. I'm a friend of his and seemed to be lost. Can you tell me where it is? Captain Turner, ma'am.
Oh, you'll have to excuse this. Mrs. Harkins, I live here alone. With all those Indian attacks, I have to be careful.
I understand.
The Scott home. Right up that road, and then follow the one to the right. You'll get there by dark.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Captain, if you see Mr. Scott, he was here this morning, but I had a visitor, and he left. He was going to stop by tonight to bring the things I ordered, but you tell him tomorrow morning will be fine.
I'll tell him. Good afternoon.
Goodbye.
Should never get here. Mr. Scott went out to make some deliveries, and Julie's been crying ever since. She won't even talk to me. Won't you please try and talk to her?
You know, Mrs. Scott, I can't think of a single problem that was ever solved by crying.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anyone can do.
How do you know if you won't let them try? Do you have any coffee?
I'll see if there's some left.
I think your sister could use a cup. Now, suppose you start at the beginning and tell me just what the trouble is. You've got to tell someone sooner or later. You seem to be afraid of something.
I'm not afraid for myself. It's my husband I'm afraid for.
Scott?
I married him out of rebellion. Our family were very strict. Albert was a traveling drummer. We went north. I fell in love with him after we were married. Strange way for things to happen. Fall in love with someone after you're married.
I don't think it's so strange.
Albert got in trouble last year. They couldn't prove anything against him, but we had to leave.
What kind of trouble?
Business, I guess. He didn't like to talk about it. He's a restless man. We'd stay a place a month or two, and then suddenly we'd move on. He likes money. I have a feeling there's awful trouble coming.
Is that why you want me to take Holly back home?
Oh, yeah.
If he likes money so much, why does he sell his things so cheaply?
Well, what about that?
How can he afford to?
He does all right. He's a good salesman.
Tell me something. Did you ever see your husband with $5,000?
How do you know these things about him?
I was just remembering something I heard. Were there ever any survivors from the Wichita raids?
No.
Those other places you lived. Were there similar raids? You better get her things packed. I'll drive you both to town as soon as I get back.
But why?
You can't stay here.
Where are you going?
Just pack her things. I'll be back soon.
Good evening, Mrs. Harkins.
Good evening, Mr. Scott. Oh, you didn't get my message.
Message? No, what message?
Oh, a friend of yours stopped by, and I told him you needn't trouble bringing them tonight. Tomorrow morning would be fine.
There's no trouble at all.
Won't you come in?
Thank you.
Oh, you didn't bring your wagon.
Well, horseback. Special delivery.
How nice. Oh, what lovely items. How much are they?
Well, for you, 50 cents.
I don't see how you sell things so inexpensive.
I make my profits other ways.
Well, it's a blessing for a woman like me. Because of my small income. I couldn't afford half of the new items if it wasn't for you.
Thank you.
Let's try the new kettle. Would you like a cup of tea?
That's a nice idea. I wouldn't say you were poor. Like I said, Mrs. Harkins, I have to make my profit someplace.
But that's my money.
Sit down. Sit down, Mrs. Harkins. Never mind the tea. I'll see myself out. Good night, Mrs. Harkins.
No! No! That's my money! That's all I have!
Captain was always on time on the boat.
Maybe he got lost. The roads is changed to him. I don't think I should go with you.
Now, Julie, you must. The captain must have had a very good reason for wanting us to go safer.
Albert will never forgive me for running out of here on a stranger's say-so.
Captain.
Julie, dear, I'm back. I was worried about you with the Indians around and all. 2 suitcases? Who's going away?
The captain thought we'd be safer in town.
I want Holly to be out of danger.
Of course. I should have figured that myself. Where is he, your captain?
We're waiting for him now.
Better still, I'll drive you both into town on my way to Texas.
Texas?
Yes, dear.
I think we should wait here.
Holly, get your wrap. It's chilly outside. Get your wrap, Holly.
Do as he says. You really will take us to the hotel, won't you?
Why, of course, Julie. Why shouldn't I? What's got into you?
Nothing. Nothing, I just asked.
He was around here asking questions about me, huh? What'd you tell him?
Nothing. What is there to tell?
Well, here we are. All ready? Let's be off.
The captain.
We'll meet him on the way.
Well, the meeting's still in progress. The whole town must be in there. No. Take it easy, mister. You can't get up.
You're lucky you're alive.
Jail? How did I get here?
Ed Edwards here brought you in.
Yes, sir, it sure was lucky Shorty Johnson rode out there to the flat to tell me about that meeting. Well, if I hadn't have been so anxious to get me some Wichitas, you'd likely still be laying out yonder. You know, they killed that poor woman.
It was Wichita's.
The arrow that hit me was fired by Alfred Scott.
Scott!
Yeah, I gotta get... No.
You're not going anywhere now. You should be in bed at least a week. You lost a lot of blood.
I left 2 men in town. Where are they?
Over at the hotel at that meeting.
What meeting?
The town's going after the Wichitas.
I'm going to get me a passel of them. They're a plumb ornery, no-good bunch.
No, you'll be starting an Indian war for nothing. Scott's the man you want. No.
You're not doing that wound any good. Now lie still.
Can't you believe me? You're blaming an Indian for a white man's crimes. Did you see any Indians last night?
Did I see any? Why, I must have seen a dozen of them. But I didn't see no white man. Shot arrows at me, they did. Wichita arrows. But I rode in amongst them and went to blazing away at them with old Betsy and slicing at them with my knife. And didn't take them Injuns long to figure out they'd overmatched themselves. Why, I'd scarcely got going when they picks up their dead and wounded and hightails out of there.
You must have been drunk. There were no Indians. Scott killed that woman. Set fire to her house. And then he tried to kill me.
And you saw him do all that?
It had to be him. I swear I saw him standing right over me, ready to fire again, just before I passed out.
Sheriff, I winged that feller. He's a Wichita, all right. I saw his outline real plain, by golly, when he took off.
Ed's quite a liar, but this time I think he's telling us the truth.
I sure am. Sheriff, I've been delegated by the committee to come over here and find out if you're going to give up Rico without a fight.
You know how I feel about that, Carly.
Rico, this is your last chance to tell us where the Wichitas are hiding.
He's got a right to tell his story in court. Give him a fair trial.
There ain't gonna be any trial. We're gonna fight fire with fire.
No. Get Scott first.
Scott has left town. I saw him driving down the Blue Hill Road early this morning with his women folks.
He knows. He knows now that she gets the truth.
You gonna give us Rico or not?
He's my prisoner, Carly. You don't get him from me.
I'll be back. Me too.
Sheriff, the whole town is against you. You can't hold them off by yourself. Why don't you go over to the hotel and stop them now?
They're my neighbors, Captain. Men I've worked with ever since I came here. Many of them lost relatives in those night raids. As their friend, I can't stop them from talking.
Find Scott and I'll give you proof. There's a small fortune in that wagon of his.
Scott's not a killer.
Won't be long before that mob is over here to take your prisoner. I'm glad to see you up and around. Are we gonna help the sheriff?
Not against that many. Take his gun, Josh. Terry, get the keys and let Rico loose. Yes, Sheriff, into the cell.
We'll track you down, Captain. You know that.
I'll bring the boy back. He knows this country. He can help me find Scott. I'm sure we can clear him. Josh, my hunch about Scott was right. He's running because he knows I'm alive. We're going after him. You go back to the boat and get the steam up.
Right, sir.
Sorry to do this, Captain. You have been my friend. Senor Scott is not foolish enough to go into Wichita country. He turned off the old military road. It's not used no more. Do not try to follow me, because I hate to kill you.
Here they come, Captain. Carly's bringing them from the hotel.
Let's get out of here.
Sheriff, we're going to take
All right, where is he?
Mr. Carly, I want to talk to you about taking the law into your own hands.
Where is he?
Got your horses outside? Well, come on. For once, you're going to do something useful.
Ooh. Look at the way that right front wheel is tracking, Terry. They're losing it.
We got a pretty good chance of catching them.
Yeah, let's go. Cover me, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Captain Turner.
Drop the gun, Captain. You feeling poorly, Captain? That's too bad. But my wagon needs fixing.
Where are the women?
Sweet Miss Holly and my dear wife. They're dead, Captain. Dead. Move. Now you boys put that wheel on. I gotta get me across Red River before dark.
What good will it do to help him?
A man can die easy, or he can go real hard. Now you take your pick.
Get the wheel, Terry. The sheriff knows you killed Mrs. Harkins and all the rest of those people.
You mean he was told, but he don't believe it.
You haven't got a chance this time, Scott.
You get to work!
I'm going to try and jump in.
Look at his eyes. He's mad. You haven't got a chance. We got to get him between us, but he's too smart for that.
You cut out that talking. Scheming to get me ain't gonna do you no good.
All right, put the wheel on. I can hold it.
Yes, sir. All right, Captain, you can let her down.
We're gonna need some tools to keep this thing on.
Julie, bring out the toolbox.
Then she's not dead.
She's dead, but not yet. I told them I'd blow your heads off if they opened their mouths. Give them the toolbox.
It's been awful. He's been raving like a madman. Hurt.
Albert, please, I'll do anything. I'll go with you. Only let Holly and these men go.
Well, I don't need you no more. I don't need them either.
Albert, please.
Don't plead with him, Mrs. Scott. It won't do any good. I wonder if he'll look us in the face when he shoots us. He never did before.
You shut up!
Gets into a house with his tin goods, finds out where the money's hidden, and then comes back later to kill and rob.
You guessed that, huh?
And I finally guessed it. It took a long time for me to believe it.
The Wichita arrows fooled him. Whole towns looking for Indians. Worked before. It'll work again in Texas. Now hitch up the team. Get under the wagon. You two. Julie, come here. Load this. Here's some bullets.
Another one joined the group.
But he's got a white flag.
They've had enough.
It's Rico.
What is it, Rico?
I come for Senor Scott. He's the only man we want.
Fat chance. Clear out.
My people, they know Senor Scott brings much trouble to them. They will punish him.
You clear out or I'll kill you.
Unless the senor comes to us, by the time I go back to my people, we will charge again.
But these women aren't to blame for what Scott did.
For you, senor, I am sorry. I tell my people you are not an enemy. I tell them you saved my life. But they are angry. And will come again for Senor Scott.
You let him come. I'm ready for any redskin alive.
Rico, wait! It won't do you any good, Scott. Julie didn't load the gun.
Yes, she needs a doctor.
Where's her husband?
The Indians took him.
It'll pay for this. Come on, Sheriff. Let's get after him.
Now, you wait a minute and take time to look in that wagon. There's over $5,000 in there, and a lot of the things that Scott took from the houses he burned. You'll also find a supply of Wichita arrows. Come on, Miss Scott. We'll try to make you more comfortable. Here we go. Hook up the horses, Terry.
Yes, sir.
Miss Holly, take her. All right, Miss Holly.
Here we are. Easy, easy. Here we go. These are Wichitas, all right.
I think you can identify some of those things, Sheriff.
Sure. These belong to Mrs. Grundy. She was wearing them the night before she was killed. This watch. That belonged to George Sakeley. Well, Carly, is that proof enough?
I'm sorry, Captain. I'm wrong.
And you're gonna be wrong again if you don't get that cargo of beaver skins down to the boat by tonight. Because I'm taking you into court.
Yes, sir.
You think she'll ever be able to forget?
No, I don't think she will. But after a while, maybe it'll just seem like a bad dream. It won't be so frightening.
I'll help her.
I know you will.
I'll raise you a nickel.
Well, just,
Call you. A pair of deuces, ace high.
Pair of ladies and their mates.
You wouldn't be signaling pick along behind me back now, would you?
No, I don't even know what you're playing.
Well, it's just as well you never learn. Not with sharps like him on the river. Oh, it's you.
Who's winning?
Well, he's taking me for 57 cents.
Well, enjoy yourselves, boys. Willow Landing is just around the bend, and Captain Holden will be waiting on the dock.
Well, it'll be nice to see him again.
You will.
Captain
Holden, on the
Give him a blast, Terry.
Aye, aye, sir.